Now, in order for us to better understand what the Shaykh intends with these two statements concerning these names, then it's important for us to understand mal farq bayna hadain al ismain. What is the difference between these two names, Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim? Well, the scholars of Al-Islam, they differ as it relates to uh, the difference between these two names. And so you have a couple of statements. The first statement is that Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim are synonymous in meaning. And so when Ar-Rahim is stated after Ar-Rahman, it is just giving emphasis to the name Ar-Rahman. This is the first statement. The second statement is that Ar-Rahman, it points to Rahmatun Amma, general mercy. And what is intended by general mercy is mercy that everyone that is bestowed upon that is bestowed upon everyone from amongst the creation, regardless if you be Muslim or non-Muslim. That this mercy is bestowed upon everyone in the creation. And then they say, as it relates to Ar-Rahim, that what is intended is that it is a mercy that is specific to the believers. It is a mercy that is specific to the believers. And when you look at the ulama as it relates to this particular position, you find them quoting the statement of Allah, Surah Al-Ahzab, verse 43, وَكَانَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَحِيمًا. And he was with the believers, Rahim. And so they state that, look, Allah attached this name to the believers specifically, showing that this is a name that indicates or points to mercy that is bestowed upon the believers specifically. Whereas Ar-Rahman is for everyone, mercy that is bestowed upon everyone. And then you have the third statement, which in Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala knows best seems to be the correct statement, that Ar-Rahman, it indicates or points to a quality and or attribute, or excuse me, it is a descriptive term. It points to a description of Allah. And Ar-Rahim, it is different from Ar-Rahman. Why? Because it points to an action of Allah. It points to an action of Allah. So again, one is a description of Allah, and the other is an action of Allah. For this reason, when Sheikh Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymeen, when he explains in his sharh now, going back to his sharh, he states about Ar-Rahman, ma'anahu, he states that its meaning, that he is described bi-Rahma al-Wasi'ah. He is described with having vast and extensive mercy. He is described as having vast and extensive mercy. However, so when we're understanding or looking at this, this is a description of Allah, that He is the one that is merciful, possessing of mercy. However, Ar-Rahim, it implies or indicates when Allah acts mercifully to someone or something. When Allah acts mercifully with someone or something. So one is a descriptive term and the other is pointing to an action. It's pointing to an action. And from the ulama that state this being the case, you find them likewise using the statement that was found in Surah Al-Ahzab, but you also find them using statements that show that the name was connected to an action. And I'm looking for. I don't want to read. I don't want to translate the verse. I'd rather read it. Read the translation directly from the Noble Quran. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. I'm going to see. Let me see here. So anyway, it's the statement of Allah in Surah Yusuf, verse 53, where Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala says, Inna nafsa la'amaratun bis-su'i illa ma rahima rabbi, inna rabbi ghafurur rahim. And that is translated as, verily the human is inclined towards evil, except when my Lord bestows his mercy. Verily my Lord is oft forgiving, most merciful. So the ulama that hold this particular position, they state that Allah connects the name Ar-Rahim to when he does the action or the act of being merciful to others. When he does the act of being merciful to others. And so they state that this is the farq between these two names. Sheikh Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymin in his Sharh al-Bayquniyya, he states, وَالْقَوْلَ الْأَقْرَبْ إِنْدِي هُوَ الْقَوْلَ الثَّانِي وَهُوَ أَنَّ الرَّحْمَنِ يَدُلُّ عَلَى الصِّفَةِ وَالرَّحِيمِ يَدُلُّ عَلى الْفِعْلِ. He states that the position of the statement that is closer to the truth with me is the second statement. And keep in mind, he was talking about these two of the statements or two of the meanings in his explanation to Al-Bayquniyya. He states, and that is that Ar-Rahman indicates a description, whereas Ar-Rahim, it indicates an action. It indicates an action. So that is as it relates to the farq or the difference between the names Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim.